Season 2 tier list, I want to get your help from this. We're going to go over all the brand new heroes you can get on the exclusive banner once you start Season 2. That banner's up for like a week. All the summons you do on that banner are only these Season 2 heroes. We're going to do some summons for Swifter. He wants me to do summons in like a week or 2 weeks. Once he gets into Season 2, he's got a lot of gold dice, and we were having this discussion of whether he should summon on the Season 2 exclusive banner. Is it worth it? And both of us said no, that we didn't think it was worth it. That it's not worth taking your 80 or your 100 or even your 25, 35 gold dice and only summoning on that exclusive banner, because these guys just aren't really... There's a few good ones. There are. Without a doubt, there's a few good ones. But there's far better, I feel, heroes on the normal banners, especially legendaries that you could get than summoning on that one. Beldel S tier. Yeah, well, the exclusives are all going to be S tier, right? And if we need reference of who the heroes are, we can come over here to this website and we can see each of them. So I guess we can start from the top. We can start right here. We can go over to Malik, Rose, and on all the way till Nissa and Karf. I guess Karf is the last one. So if you're not sure what these heroes are, what we're talking about, if you're new to this game, then you can come over to this website. It's dragonheir.info, or you can look inside the game, right? Well, if you're not on Season 2 yet, you won't see them inside the game. So if you come over to this website, you'll be able to see. Although I will say this website doesn't give super detailed information on the skills, or it doesn't show the skill formation, but it tells you enough. It gives you enough to know what we're talking about. Banner's so good for getting those Ice Blast heroes, but only to summon for Ice Blast heroes, because I got to say, this Ice Blast hero right here is not great. I would put him down to a B tier as far as Ice Blast goes. And that is right here, Zorak. Okay, let's start out with, I don't know where you want to start. Let's start out from the legendaries. Let's start out with Ardrith. Ardrith you get from an event in Season 2. You cannot actually summon her from a banner. What do you guys feel like Ardrith is going to land in? S minus? We'll just throw him up here. So I think Ardrith is definitely S tier. I don't know if she's in between S, A, and S tier, but even on her own for tanking, she's going to do her battle skill on herself. If she's lower, she's going to give herself increased defense. She gives the whole team increased defense plus 100 resistance. That defense lead, I feel like for progression, she's massive, even without Garius. Even if I brought in Quarion to heal with her, she's still going to increase his healing by 50% and give defense, give resistance. I feel like she is definitely S tier. Is she S tier without Garius? Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I do agree that I think she's S tier without Garius even. Now, I don't know if that's in between A and S, but let's just give her an S. He said, "Oh, I'm not going to get her sadness." Okay, we'll go with S tier. I think she's powerful enough to be S tier. We'll put her up there for now. Okay, so now we have God tier, S tier, A, B, and F, right? Really, we should just have God tier, A, B, C, I guess would be. I don't know why everybody uses SS. Yeah, we'll just use God tier. I think she is absolutely phenomenal. With all the debuffs that she does, slowing the boss down, decrease attack, knocking back that ultimate gauge, pulling in people, and then knocking back. I've played her on something like Fay Meander, and she pulls in everybody, and then she just hits them all, heals herself, not by a lot because I'm making her tanky instead of doing damage based off of attack, healing herself, dropping all their ultimate gauge, and then decrease attack along with slow speed. I think she is pretty insane. I don't know about God tier, but I definitely think she's S tier. In sub situations for PvE, I do think she's God tier, and she can make a fantastic tank. I build her with all defense, lots of accuracy, 3-hit on her ultimate so she can apply the crown and witches remains really easy. I think she's one of the best progression heroes they put out. For all the dungeons, you can use her as a tank. For going through Fey pillars, PvP, she's a lot of fun. Is God tier, and her PvP also absurd? Yeah, do you want to put her as God tier? I think she's great. I really, really love playing her. You think she's God tier though? I don't know. I think God tier is going to be selected for like very few. All right, Beldel single target damage. She is the new Ice Blast exclusive, which means that she's a harder legendary to get than a normal legendary. The odds to get her are lower, and she has her own exclusive artifact. So if you have the artifact and her, she is God tier for single target damage on Vortex. Now, when you're stronger later on in the season, you can bring her in for speed runs, and she'll be God tier for speed runs as well, just to do crazy damage. her kid is beefy. Right here? Yeah, she is. She's awesome. Okay, Zorak. Zorak is a Ice Blast legendary that I've played a lot. A lot. I've used legendary artifacts on him to try to increase his ability to do more damage, to make it so that our team does more damage when he does his ultimate. But I'm telling you, if you use Bledin in place of him, you will get more damage. And if you use Bledin solo and going through dungeons to do something like the Harpy, Bledin will do far better because Bledin gets 20% additional crit rate on his abilities. He gets 20% additional attack. He enables other people. He gives himself the ability to do more battle skills. This guy, even though he gives a whole entire team 40% additional damage, it just does not work. Zorak is B. Yeah, he just does not work. I don't know why we have a legendary like this. And if he functioned like Shaltar does, then he'd be great. But for some reason, he just is not it. And Girthin, yeah, you just need to at least have Shinna or Girthin or Bledin and Girthin. Those Girthin, Bledin and Shinna are the enablers, but Bledin is also amazing on his own. But Bledin will give the ice crystals over to Girthin to be able to function. Girthin cannot work by herself. Speaking of her, though, we'll go with her next. I do think Girthin is S tier, but she does need support. I would put her at God tier if she could do everything by herself, but she can't do everything by herself. She is definitely S tier. Single target damage on the Vortex boss. If you're going to bring her in other content, you still have to bring in somebody else like Bledin or Shinna to be able to give her those ice crystals. Because she only gives herself one when she does her ultimate. She needs way more than that. You think she's A tier? I don't know. I think she's S tier for the amount of damage she does on the Vortex boss. For an epic with that much damage, totally S tier. Yeah, I agree too. I think with this much damage, and she does. It's like season 1 Total Nan. Total Nan did crazy amount of damage. Still does a lot of damage for wild teams. I definitely think she's S tier. All right, I guess we'll stick with the Ice Blast so far. I think Shinna is either A tier or S tier. She does a fantastic job of giving your team, your ice crystal people, additional attack along with a whole bunch of ice crystals to be able to do their second ability over and over. Is Beldel S tier? Then Girth should be A tier. Beldel is God tier. Girth is S tier. If Beldel is S tier, then Girth. Yeah. Right. They're not in the same tier. Beldel's above Girthin. But they're up there in that God tier. Shinna, I don't know. What do you think? Shinna A, S? I feel like Shinna is kind of in between A and S. She doesn't do insane damage, but she's there to help out Girth really perform. As for sure, she's the best enabler for Ice Blast. She is. A, you guys think A? You pulled Zorak? This guy right here? Oh, man. Girth is not... No. Girth is definitely S tier, man. For the amount of damage Girth can do, she's S tier. Girth teamed up with Bledin or Shinna, or even Zorak if you had to. This girl's S tier for sure. She just does insane amount of damage. She only enables Ice Blast, not everyone. Okay, we can leave her at A, but she's definitely, to me, in between A and S. She is definitely cool for Ice Blast, but you're right. Outside of Ice Blast plus her ultimate, I really don't like how her ultimate functions. Her ultimate isn't one of those ultimates that freezes times, does all the multi-hits right away, gets up that decreased defense right at that point. It's one of those ultimates that sits there and fires down. And it's random. So when you're going through something like the Harpy, and you're trying to get that decreased defense on whatever you really want it on, you don't know if it's going to be. It's gonna go out there and put it on whoever. Any of those are S either? Okay. Well, people will be able to read chat. I can't read all this chat right now. I'll just keep going on. And then the viewers can read, who are watching this YouTube videos can read the chat. Who else do we have? We've got this guy. I don't think he's that great. Does he do the same kind of damage if he gets the support he needs? He can. He can do decent damage. He's the only Ice Blast with a small 3x3. But I don't really think he is that great. He can ignore a little bit of defense too. no one uses him. Yeah, I just don't think he's that great. You would use him if you didn't have any other options. Like say you had Bledin or Nord in him, you could use them together, but I just don't think he's that great. So I'll put him down here at B tier. Although I don't think he's F tier for sure, because when we did damage testing for him, he still does good damage. You know, a little bit of power creep on some of these heroes for season 2 as far as just standard damage goes. Who else do we have? We have Nord. Is there any other one that I'm missing for? There's Nord. So Nord's the rare that can actually give Ice Blast to a lot of other people just by doing normal basic attacks. I think he's pretty decent. The issue is that he's melee. So he gets up in people's faces and he doesn't have a lot of defense and he dies really easily. But as far as what he can do, like if you bring in, if you're missing Bledin or you want to bring Bledin, Nord, and Girth together, he's a really good enabler. He will give everyone besides himself, though. He doesn't give this to himself. When he does a basic ability, he has a chance to give an Ice Blast to a hero. It says the highest attack on the team, actually. Okay, we'll put him at A. No, I'm not going to put him at A. I'll put him down here just because he's melee. When it comes to melee, he just doesn't have the survivability. Now, if you want to play him only on the Vortex boss, we don't have to worry about melee there. But if you want to play him anywhere else in the game, it's just not worth it. I'm going to put him down at B. He's good on Vortex. Yeah, he is. If you don't have options, he's good on Vortex, but not as good as Shinna. Yeah, you're right. As far as rares go, I think he's good. I hope the D&D guy is going to be good. They said the D&D Elminster, they said it's going to be better than all the other heroes they had previously. That's what it's saying. So I'm hoping to. Bledin. I'm going to put Bledin at A tier, although I think Bledin is somewhere in between A tier and S tier, just like she is. And I only say that because Bledin has a multi-hit ultimate. He gets that 20% additional crit rate whenever he does his skills, either one, ultimate and battle skill, and he gives himself 20% additional attack. Bledin is crazy. Plus, he gives himself 2 ice crystals even solo, so he's doing 3 battle skills in between his ultimate. If you want to put Witch's Remains or the Crown on him, he does a 3-hit ultimate. He has a lot going on for him. Like, I use him just to go through speed runs of Harpy if I want to without Shinna. I feel like Bledin is awesome. Bledin at S tier? Good without Ice Blast team. That's what I'm saying. I mean, he's good without an Ice Blast team. Let's put him up here with Girth. Let's put him with Girth because you're right. I feel like I use Bledin a lot of places. Easy to gear to get more damage, and he can take care of himself by giving himself those 2 additional Ice Blasts. And then if there's other people with him, he'll give other people Ice Blast on the team. He'll enable them to do more. I really do believe in Bledin. I think Bledin's awesome. I've loved this guy since Season 2 came out. Although Girth tears it up on the Vortex boss. Like, insane. But I don't play her anywhere else. Plus, she's melee. So that makes, like, melee just drops him down. But when we start to talk about doing the endgame boss, which we only fight for like 4 to 5 days, we'll probably pull her out then. Shinna's done real dirty. Shinna's done real dirty. I think he's better than Shinna in a lot of cases to where you're not bringing in Girth. Even though she gives us that increased attack and does give us a lot of ice crystals, overall, she doesn't do a lot of damage. There are situations where I could bring him in. You know what? We need to test it. We need to test these 2 together and then these 2 together and see how much damage increase. The thing is, she gives more ice crystals. She does give more. We did Shinna dirty. Well, we don't have an in-between. All right, we'll put Bledin down here. We don't have an in-between A tier and S tier. All right, we'll put Bledin there. We'll put him down there. Because you're right. Girth just does so much damage on the Vortex boss. We got to keep her at S. Okay, who else do we have? We've got... let's go with some guys that aren't affiliated with the new kind of Electrocute, Burn. Who do we have? Stagamuffin? What do you guys feel about this guy? I haven't used him a lot. I've got him on my main account. We just pulled him again recently on summons we did. The issue with him is that even though he's applying all these debuffs, they're just not something we can count on. When we need decreased attack, that decreased attack isn't going to be up. When we need heal block, when we need to buff blocks, it's only for 5 seconds. And yeah, it's going to be often, but it's still not something we can rely on. If you want to use him as a backup, for your other guys, you've got decreased attack in there, you've got recharge speed penalty in there, and you just want to have him as a backup, you could use him then. God tier, he single-handedly supplied all your legendary artifacts. That's pretty hilarious. So he's always getting you legendary artifacts. I feel like a lot of people have gotten multiple copies of this guy. Although I feel like we're going to do really dirty if we put him at F tier. Because I don't believe he's F tier, but I honestly don't know where I'd use him. So I'll put him down here as F tier for now. He's got a lot of good debuffs. A lot. But it's a low percentage chance whenever he does damage. Like a too low of a percentage chance. And they only last for 5 seconds. So I really don't know anywhere I'd use him. Unless I put him in a stun set and I use that pulse on the ground to stun people in Fay. And then if I'm going up against a team that revives, whenever anything dies inside his pulse, he doesn't have to be the one to kill them. It blocks them from being revived. In that one instance, okay, sure. What are we going to do with him? I don't know with those Electrocute heroes. I'm just not big on those, right? Okay, we've also got this girl. Now, she is one that we get from the pillars. And I did a video on her recently, and I think she's pretty damn good. As far as free-to-play goes or progression, even somebody with an account like mine, if you need somebody to do decrease attack as well as recharge speed penalty on the ultimate that we can time, 100% chance to apply decrease attack and recharge speed penalty for 10 seconds every ultimate, I think she's extremely strong. If you are limited on your roster, and I did a video on her doing Ancient Battlefield 9, one of the hardest dungeons, I think the hardest dungeons to do, I think she is exceptional. Solely for the Shield Pro, to block Shield Prohibition? No. The Shield Prohibition is on a battle skill. It's for 5 seconds, and I don't know where we're really going to catch that. What I use her for is being able to time decrease attack and recharge speed penalty, so we can be in tune with any boss. If there's a boss out there that's extremely fast, 16 seconds, 18 seconds, this makes it so we don't even have to worry about it. We go in there, we decrease attack that boss. We're not being hit hard by its ultimate. We're slowing it down enough for a whole entire team, and I build her tanky. For that Ancient Battlefield team that I did, like a free-to-play Ancient Battlefield team or going through domains or anything, she's extremely strong for that. Now, the shield block, because she's the only person that can shield block in the game, is like icing, a cherry on top, right? It's nice to have, but it's not something we can rely on. You don't need to worry about shields and curse. Curse, you just make sure you have decreased attack, you remove the buffs. Or right now in curse, I don't even worry about any of that. Like curse in season 2, if you have the right team, not saying everybody will, but if you just have like a normal sturdy team, get some defense lead in there, but you're doing a lot of damage, you just kind of burn through curse. I feel like curse is pretty easy. Jacob's got to add right now. Yeah, curse is pretty easy to blow through. At end game, once you're a little bit stronger, you just put in a DPS team and blow it up. You don't even worry about the mechanics. All right, I'm going to put her at A. I think she is very versatile, and I think she's very strong, and she can get people through a lot of content, and you get her for free from the pillars. Who else do we got? There's another one that we get for free going through Fay Meander. This guy. Now, I haven't tried this guy out. He does stuns and some other control. This one. He does like a 3x3 stun, but it's a stun for 3 seconds on a battle skill. 3x3 is pretty nice. I don't think there's going to be... I'm not going to put him at F. I guess I'll put him at F tier. He's not useless, but... Yeah, he's melee too, right? We'll put him at F tier. He's not useless, but he is melee. Only a 3x3 stun. I just don't think he's going to be utilized as much. Nowhere near like she is for the pillars that you get for free. C tier, we got him down here at F tier. Just because I don't think he's going to get a lot of play. All right, who do we have next? We've got Rose. Okay, big controversy with Rose. Rose does not heal doesn't really heal your team. Especially in the Vortex boss, Rose doesn't heal anybody because the Vortex boss is far out. For some reason, they will not do anything to fix that, to correct that. Rose is supposed to heal somebody that's right next to anyone she's doing damage to. F tier? She's not F tier though. Come on, she gets a buff on herself and then she cannot be resisted. She does decreased attack, she does slow speed, so it's kind of like the girl we were just talking about we get from pillars. She does recharge. Rose does recharge speed penalty on her battle skill, which slows any boss you're fighting. And then she does decrease attack. And then if she has a buff on her, which she can apply herself, she cannot be resisted with that decreased attack. That alone, slowing down the boss and decrease attack, is worth a slot. Now, if there is somebody next to the boss, she will heal them and remove a buff. But if it's Ancient Battlefield, she'll only do it to the person immediately in front of the boss, even though I know all your other teammates melee are attacking the boss and touching the boss. They won't get healed. Same thing with Grave of Rot. She won't get healed and remove a debuff. It's sad. It's very, very sad. Now, if everybody's circling a wisp, like a small wisp in the Harpy, or even the Harpy, because they only take up one square, then everybody around that will be healed and removed of a debuff. Say something like Fay. But yeah, she's all content creators have complained about this and asked them to revise this for the Vortex and for those bosses, but the company said nope, she's working as intended. Tune doesn't work right, so F. I'm gonna put her at A because she's still got viability. She could still go in there and slow any boss that you fight down and then decrease attack it. And then the little heals. Thing is, she's not like a crazy damage dealer. She's not a crazy healer. She's not even like a really good jack of all trades because they won't fix her to how she should properly work. You're right. I'm gonna still put her at A. I still think she's got some viability to help people out to get through. Who's that? I don't even recognize. Who's that person? Like, there's no head on that one I'm picking up. I feel like we've got a lot of burn. Malik. Okay, you guys tell me about Malik because I'm not sure where I would put Malik. I don't have him myself. He's got some really cool abilities to where he can't be controlled, right? No control abilities. He gets turn meter increase. He gets a lot of healing based off of, I think, his max HP. We played him on the test server not very long, right? A solid A? B tier? You've listened to more content pros. B tier? Oh, you're talking about for Rose? Yeah, you're talking about for Rose. B tier for Rose? I think she's A tier because she can help you get through just like this one, just like this epic. Anybody who can recharge speed penalty and decrease attack is very scarce to have. We just don't have any heroes that can do that. Very, very, very few. He can scale in the future with better pairing. Malik can scale better in the future with better pairing. I think he's got some cool abilities, some unique things that no other hero has. The ability to not have to worry about the control immunity, to get the ultimate gauge increase that he gets quite often. Resist control, ultimate down effects, and he can't have ultimate down effects. He's got a chance. Oh, he's got a chance to nullify those, and then he always gets an increased ultimate ability, and he gets all those heals on himself. So what do you guys think? A or B for Malik? He's A for sure right now as far as the tank goes. I mean, we used him as a tank, and he was a great tank. He was giving healing to himself. He was not worried about a lot of debuffs that the enemy was doing and turn meter down. So you think in the future he's going to be S tier? Okay, nice. All right, we'll put him at A for now. I think we're winding down to all the burns. Look at all these burns and electrocutes. Anybody else? Here we go. Who is this? This is Dol. Now, I have Dol on my main, and I haven't played him yet. Dol originally looked like he was going to be really useful because he was going to banish the person with the highest max HP, which would be maybe a tank. But I just really haven't seen him played. And with that banish, I haven't really seen it utilized in a way that if I go through Fay, is it going to take out that one main tank and then my guys are just going to run to the back and start attacking the back line? Regardless, even if he does that, he would still be probably around A tier. He's going to come in, do decrease. Well, the coolest thing is that he comes in and immediately the highest attacker on the opposing team gets decreased attack. And then he'll do that again on his battle skill. He'll hit the person with the highest attack and decrease attack them. And then he'll banish the person with the highest max HP. So I don't know. A lot of he's better than Furbath. Who's better than Furbath? Furbath's totally different. Who are we talking about? This guy doesn't even heal everyone. Only good in arena? Well, Fay and Pillars. I would think Fay and Pillars, he'd kind of be a god if we could. You think Malik's better than Furbath? I mean, Furbath is totally different. Decrease attack along with healing everybody around him. And Furbath's healing is pretty insane. Different heroes altogether. Malik and Furbath different kind of roles, really, even though they're both tanks. You'd use them in different areas, and Furbath is still really amazing. I guess I'll put him at A tier until I do some testing with him. Maybe he'll go down or go up. But I think Dolk might be exceptionally cool in Fay and in Pillars. And if he's one of those guys that can help us get through Fay and actually complete it, like 180 floors, that would be pretty cool. If he can really banish that person in front. Now, usually there's 2 tanks in front and 3 DPS in the back. But if I can put 2 tanks up on the side, have those 2 tanks split, and then have Dolk banish one, my team should be able to like attack forward. Or if I have melee over there, melee DPS, that melee DPS should be able to run forward. I don't know. I don't like even saying that, it doesn't sound that amazing. But if they have a Hivitar on the opposing team and I do decrease attack on her right away as we zone in, which is what he does, and then he does it again on his battle skill to the person with the highest attack and keeps attacking them and keeps decrease attacking them over and over on his battle skill, that could be really handy. To support your melee, but a shielder with... Yeah, I don't know. I gotta test Dolk out. I'm gonna put Dolk down in B for now, just because I'm really not sure how he's gonna function. So you let me know in the comments below. If you guys know if Dolk is good, let us know where you're using him, how you're using him, and how you are gearing him. Okay, I think we're down to the finals. Who's this? Oh, that's Durham. Man, there's this many Electrocute and Burn? Are there really this many Electrocute and Burn? Okay, let's go with the Electrocute first. Electrocute just has not been performing. Electrocute is... Oh, no, there's a Phasia. What's her name? I like her. I think this one is actually really cool. Has anybody been playing her? I think she's got some really cool stuff to bring to the table. She hits the whole entire board. I don't have her myself, so I haven't been able to play her. And I think this unique buff and debuff that she does is really cool. It's very, very unique. Now, would we put her at S tier? I haven't used her. I think the debuff she has is really interesting. We got that damage delay too. I don't know how well that increases the success rate of you granting buffs or inflicting any debuffs by 20%. Decrease the success rate of all enemies to grant buffs and debuffs too. Maybe put her at A for now. In between A and S, I would have her as S. You think she's S tier? I don't know. I've also seen her do a lot of damage. I know her damage multipliers aren't that high. It's only like 700, I think, to hit the whole entire board. But for some reason, I've seen her do a lot of damage. Maybe it was following up a decreased defense or something. In PvP, she's S tier, God tier. Okay, we'll put her at S tier for now. I think she's in between A and S, but we got a lot of down there in A, so we'll put her up in S. Right here. Phasia, is that how you say her name? I don't know if she's quite S tier, but we'll put her there for now. Okay, let's get into the juicy bits. The burns. Like, we already know Ice Blast, right? We've been talking about Bledin, Shinna, Girthin, all these. We've got Beldell up here at God tier. Let's get into the other heroes that you're going to pull. A lot of heroes if you're going to summon on the Season 2 banner, and that would be these Electrocute heroes. We've got Electrocute Rare. Where's the Electrocute Rare? This guy. I'm going to put him down at F tier. He's melee. Electrocutes. He doesn't apply that many Electrocutes, and I just don't think he's that good. Keep in mind, though, all these Electrocute people will be decent for 4 or 5 days at the very end of the season on the final boss. Does that mean that these heroes are good then? We can use a lot of other heroes, but I think these heroes are going to do pretty good on that final boss. If that final boss has 3 different targets that we can attack, just like the Copper Dragon, the in-game boss that we fought in Season 1, we're going to be able to get Electrocute up on those 3 if we can, because it's such a low percentage chance to apply Electrocute. He's got like a 40% chance to apply it. And he's melee, which then it won't matter if he's melee, because for that boss, it just doesn't make a difference, which is good for us. But this guy, yeah, not good at all. And then we've got these 2, Percival and this little orc, to do burns. Single target. You bet it's single target like Vortex? No way. No way it's going to be single target. It would be very lame if it was single target. It's going to be multi-target for sure. Because then we're going to be able to take advantage of more heroes that do things like burn, electrocute, frost, even if we want to bounce some frost stuff around with Vetemir. It's going to be different. Okay, we've got this electrocute epic. I think her name is Manda. We just tested her recently. We tested her when season 2 came out. I think she's terribly bad. Her whole deal is to apply electrocute, and she just does not do that. And she doesn't do bad damage, but she doesn't do enough damage. Her turrets that she brings out are supposed to apply electrocute. Once she does her ultimate, it increases their chance to apply it, and they just don't apply it that often. I just don't feel like she is great. B tier personally, what, mandatory? Manda is FF? You have good times with her? What are you using her with? Her damage was okay. You know, just regular. And then her turrets weren't really applying electrocute that often. I mean, they were doing all right, but it's such a low chance. It's just too varied, you know? And then again, we need a lot of targets out there. To make electrocute viable, we need a boss with additional targets that stay alive. Goblins no good. Other bosses no good because they're just the boss out there. We need a boss that has, like the Vortex boss, if he had 2 diamonds or something that kind of hover in the air and they don't die and we fight him the whole time and we can do electrocute on all 3 and have that chain connect and keep doing electrocute and getting that multiple damage up, then it would be okay. But we don't have anything to fight that's like that, except for maybe the end boss. You're so mad at Ancient Battlefield 9? It's difficult. Nissa. What do you guys think about Nissa? And we've done a lot of testing with her. I have her on my main account. We've used her on the test server quite a bit. Another Electrocute Thunderbolt hero that's a legendary. Right here. No God tier? Man, I think she's C tier. She's F tier to me. Like, even if we had a B, C, F tier, I would still put her at F tier. Even if we had a C tier in here. She is no damage. Like, worthless, right? Won't even apply electrocute on multiple targets. Her ultimate centers in on that one target. It's a diamond-shaped ultimate, right? It's one of the bigger ones. The cross-section bigger ones. But it only goes in the middle of that one target you're doing instead of being able to try to get as many people as you can in her ultimate, which really makes it, I don't know why. It's sad. It's really sad then. She doesn't even, that one electrocute thing that she throws out, that ball, is supposed to apply electrocute, and it does. It applies it pretty often. It keeps doing it. She can be an enabler for Perk, the exclusive legendary. She is probably one of the best enablers for him, but still not enough. Not enough to get his overwhelm stacks up enough for him to do crazy damage. But it's really the only thing he's got to go with it. She's so limited. And she's so terrible. Again, we need multiple targets up. We need a boss like the in-game boss to be able to play her on. Once we bring her into the... Now, keep this in mind. We're doing a tier list for what I think that these guys kind of are right now. But for that 4 or 5 days, but we only fight that boss for 4 or 5 days, she's going to be exceptionally good, I bet. Watch. Okay, so Perk. I don't know where you'd want to place Perk. A or S? I guess he's got to be at S because this the sheer amount of damage he can do. If you get, well, here's the caveat to that. If you get a whole bunch of overwhelm stacks. The way he gets an overwhelm stack is every time you try to apply electrocute. So you need heroes that try to apply electrocute before he does his ultimate. Each ultimate rotation, you need electrocute to try to be applied over and over and over. He can get up to 20 stacks. If you get anywhere near like 13, 14, 15 stacks, he does really good damage. Crazy, crazy good damage. Plus his single target damage is really good as well. Not just AoE. Still limited places that we're going to use him. Even if you pulled him as an exclusive legendary, with him, you could use so many other heroes. There's just so many other heroes you could use. At high floors of Fay, you're not going to use somebody just to do damage because once you get up to those floors, like 140, 150 floors, coming in there with brute force, damage isn't going to work. And that's considering if you can get his overwhelm stacks up high enough to try to blow everything up. Goblins, we can use anybody in Goblins. Going through, like I'm doing speedruns right now with my Ice Blast team in Harpy, Grave of Venom at 38-second runs. 32 seconds, I think I got a faster run. Like 32-second runs. This, like, I just don't know where we're going to play him. Again, for that in-game boss, I bet it's going to make huge damage. It's going to be crazy for that in-game boss because I guarantee we're going to have 3 different targets to attack. We're going to get Electrocute up on them. We're going to get his Overwhelm stacks up, and he's going to go nuts there. Absolutely insane there. S max, I'll put him at S just because, again, he does do crazy single target damage. But saying that, like, where would we use it? It's not like single target damage for Vortex. It's just good high because there's a power creep, damage, and really good AoE. And it's really fun early game to use him. But then once you get into later game, it's like, you don't need it. You're using other heroes. It's about the hero. But it's about the hero, and would you continue to use it? I mean, you need to make team comps. You need to make team comps and use that hero somewhere effectively. Yeah, in PvP, he can do some good AoE damage, especially if there's multiple targets out there, and you're getting if you're just getting Electrocute up, if you get enough stacks up. Okay, we'll put him at S tier because, again, the damage is great. This guy disappointed you? Okay, who else do we have? Do we have any more Electrocute? We do have this guy in Electrocute. Now, I think this is one of the other really good Electrocute enablers, and I need to test his damage again because we tested this when the season started. Shy, when we had access to the test server, we tested him quite a bit. Really does crazy damage based off of Enlightenment, so we need to really jack his Enlightenment up. Crit rate, critical damage so that we can crit with it. He hits targets with a passive as long as they have Electrocute up. He hits 2 random enemies here on the battle skill, which is cool. If there's one target, they'll both will hit that, should. And then his ultimate does that big area attack, and it hits for a lot. No, we did the Fey Meander and the Pillar here heroes. We've got them right here. And we've got the Goblin right there. He has insane base defense for melee. I think he's good. I'm just not, I don't know if he's S tier. I don't think he's good as an exclusive. We could put him up here S tier, but I think I think always when I'm thinking about these heroes, like, where am I going to use them? Like, where am I truly going to use them that's going to make a difference over something else that I already use, that I use for other bosses, like multi-use. Where would I multi-use? We can't use this guy on Tolwar, is it? We don't use him on Tolwar. I don't use him on any boss that I fight. All the team comps that I have for every single dungeon, I don't use them. I don't need to use them for domains because domains are so easy. I don't need to use them for bosses because most of the bosses are easy. It's not like he's helping me out in Grave of Rot. He's not helping me out. He could help me out on Heretical Runes, sure. With the AoE and the ability to hit random targets, he could do well on Heretical Runes. And then, again, getting higher up in Fey, we're not going to necessarily use DPS that blasts. But these two together, him, Shy, and Perk, together are monsters. If you can go through and blow stuff up in Fey for a while, they are monsters. But he does all good in all the content? No, he doesn't do all good in all the content. It just depends. Early game, all content, we can use anybody and he can look like he does well. But later on, when you're building teams that have the same kind of element, so you can get at least a 5-team bonus, and we want to focus on chief challenges because that's really all that matters. That month, we're only worried about getting Ardrith and doing chief challenges, and it's the same bosses we fight for the last month. So the whole last month, because dungeons are easy, we can do it with anybody. Dungeons are extremely easy. So if he's not good on a chief challenge, then I don't feel like I need him. I don't feel like I'd waste the resources to legendary scroll and to level him up. I feel like they're pretty wasted space for me. But I'll put him at A tier because I do think he does really good damage and he hits a broad board and he does some other stuff. The dungeons are farm. You need actual bosses. Yeah. If he's not usable against the chief challenges, I feel like that he's not really good until Because again, you could blow it up. But where would you use him though? Like if you're gonna play this guy, what team would you use him on, and where would you use him? I just feel like that there's just not many uses. Same goes with Burns. I mean, I'm gonna say the same thing about Burns. We got a lot of Burns down here. Oh, this is another Electrocute that I'm gonna put down here in an F tier because he doesn't apply a lot of Electrocute and he's melee too. Most of the people know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't even summon. The whole reason why we're doing this tier list is because somebody asked me, well, Swifter wants me to do some summons for him in season 2 once he gets there. And then we were talking about whether he wants to summon on the exclusive season 2 banner or not. And he doesn't want to. And I agree with him. He shouldn't summon on the exclusive season 2 banner. Only thing good to get out of there are a few cool heroes and Ice Blast. But if you get the Ice Blast epics, which you'll probably get anyways from doing a lot of summons, all you really need are the epics. Shinna is great if you could pick her up. Like if you could pick up Shinna and Girth, then you never even need to summon on the season 2 banner. Like there's nothing else to pick up there that is going to change your account. A character can't be based on chief challenges. Character needs to be based on chief challenges, dungeons, Fey, or pillars, or PvP. If I can't bring a hero in to do that, then I don't need that hero, right? If the hero can't make it to where we can get through something like heretical runes easily, if this hero isn't like, okay, I bring it into heretical runes, it makes it easy. So that hero definitely has a place for heretical runes. This hero, though, has no place, right? I can't bring him into... We don't talk about goblins because we don't need to worry about it. Goblins is easy. We don't need to worry about domains. There's not one dungeon that I would bring him into, Venom, Curse, or any of that would make it to where it'd be like, hey, this guy was built for that. I'd bring this in over anything else. Nothing. Fey and Pillars. Early Fey and Pillars, all damage dealers are really cool and really fun. Later game Fey and Pillars, it's a whole different story. If you can keep him alive, and if he can get the job done, then sure, you could bring him in Fey and Pillar to do that. PvP, this guy's not a PvP guy either. So, again, they've got to be good somewhere. They've got to have a place somewhere. Yeah, Philto blows this guy away. Like, without a doubt, blows this guy away. But they've got to have a spot somewhere. There's got to be like a logical reason for me to put scrolls and level him up and say, yes, I'm definitely at least going to use him here 100%. And I can't think of one place until we get to the last boss for 4 days. All right, Burns. Burns, I'm in the same category, right? Burn is just a gimmick. Burn is just like normal poison. The poison debuff you put up on the enemy, you don't care about poison. Poison ticks, it doesn't do a lot of damage. Poison basically is pretty much useless unless a hero can utilize that poison like Lothair, blow it up, do a whole bunch of damage. Same thing with Burn. Burn is pretty much garbage. Anything you've seen with Burn, I would just drop it out of your mind. This guy right here, Burn, apply, garbage, Burn, garbage. We've got Burn right here with Achilles. What's his name? Garbage. This one, Lyle, garbage. Okay, now we're at the main Burns where it's going to be a lot of controversy here. I'm going to put the exclusive here at S tier because he does crazy damage. He is kind of self-sufficient. He can put up burns himself and a big diamond shaped around himself, and then he hits the whole board on his ultimate. We've done damage testing with him. He does crazy damage. So we got to put him, because he's exclusive, he does crazy damage, we got to put him at S tier. They're all that because burns are garbage. In AoE, yeah, he's crazy. And single target damage, he does a lot of single target damage. They all have. All these burns that apply burns are garbage. If you want to bring him to apply burns in for this one exclusive, you could. You could. Yeah, I got him at S tier. We've got him at S tier right here. You can see him. Yeah, we got him at S tier. But all the other rare burns, I just slipped him down here at F. F, F, F. Even the epics, Lyle, F. This epic, F. All of them, F. Because this guy right here, you ready for it? Horatius is garbage. He is garbage tier. I'm going to put him at B tier only because at the in-game boss for 4 or 5 days is the only place we're going to be using him. This burn guy that blows up burns just like this exclusive, this guy's trash. He's melee. He puts shields on himself, but he still can't stay alive. We don't use him on the chief boss. We don't use him on any dungeon. I've done an Ice Blast team where I use Bledin. I just use Bledin. On an Ice Blast team going through Harpy, and I use this guy going through Harpy. Same speed run times. Same times. Plus, this guy falls over and dies sometimes where my Bledin never dies. This guy is trash because he's melee. If he was ranged, it would be fine. But this dude, along with Burns, are a gimmick. There is no reason to ever play Burns. Tell me different. Except for Karf. Yeah, Karf is nice because Karf can apply Witch's Remains and hit the whole entire board. I'll put Karf at S tier. Karf does great damage. He hits the whole entire board. He can apply Witch's Remains. We don't even care about the burn component. Now, Karf, along with this exclusive together, are really good. Just to blow up the board. Yeah, I put him at S tier. Now, does that mean you need to go out and level up your Karf? No. You could use Varesh to do same thing and do a little bit less damage, and we tested. We took Varesh and we put him in high-end gear. We didn't put him in the same gear. We just put Varesh in high-end gear, and then we took Karf and we put him in high-end gear. No, I think we put them in the same gear because Karf was performing better without Enlightenment. Keep that in mind. We did testing with Enlightenment with Karf, and then we did him all in attack with crit rate critical damage. He did better without the Enlightenment. So then we put the same gear on Karf as well as Varesh, and Varesh was doing less damage, yes, but it wasn't crazy. And they both hit the whole entire board, but Varesh will block buffs along with removing buffs, plus healing some of your allies. So Varesh overall to me is still better than Karf, but in this list, we'll put him right here. Yeah, Burn is such a gimmick. Now, Durham can do some damage. Durham can really do some decent damage, plus he enables other burn heroes, but I don't think Durham is that great as far as uses go. I have Durham and Karf leveled up to 99, and I use them currently. No, I did use them in the pillars, but then pillars got too difficult, and I had to sub these guys out for people who did better things that could... I think I left Karf in with Witch's Remains and maybe even put a stun set on Karf so he could get those 3 hits to do stuns. I think I did. But Durham I took out because I could bring in somebody else that could give me AoE decrease Ghoul End or something. You know, give me AoE decrease defense, heal themselves. There just wasn't really any reason for me to have Durham in there to do some diamond-shaped attack and then another little AoE or random hits he does. There just wasn't a place for Durham. Like just sheer damage, there just isn't a place once things get difficult. And Burn is such a gimmick that it's just not even worth playing. Yeah, so for Durham, I don't know. You guys still using Durham too? Once it gets hard, I mean, there's just not really a spot for Durham in there. And again, for speed runs, if you want to do speed runs, you don't need burns for that. Okay, that's what I've got for season 2. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about our season 2 hero tier list? You didn't even level him? Man, really? If I had him, I would level him, but you're right. You don't need to level him. But if I had him and Karf together, I would have been playing them like I do right now in Pillars. I put in a team just to do AoE damage. Like my team in Pillar is Varesh, Karf, and Ghoul End. 3 people that do the whole entire board damage. And I've got Varesh going in there with Witch's Remains, blocking their buffs, Witch's Remains, stun set with Varesh, and then I've got Karf followed up with damage and Ghoul End followed up with damage. And I try to get through as many floors as I can on that 10 times speed. And then if I get stuck, I bring in another team with a little bit more control. But he is melee. He gets up in the mix, but he does do a lot of... I mean, if I had Karf and him, I would definitely try to see what I could put, like where I could push. The easy floors, just blow through them, and then when it gets difficult, switch it out. Are the same rank? You think Beldel and this guy are the same rank? Yeah. She just does vortex damage. And we'll have to see what kind of damage. I think these guys are really going to shine on that final boss. And that final boss, when you fight it, you can get a few ranks there. If you do good damage every day and you have your 6 teams. Last season, we had 6 teams that we fight. And I went from rank 42 to rank 36. So if you make some good teams at that final few days, I know it's weird. We only fight that boss for a few days before it goes away. But for those 4 days, if you can really focus and make some good teams, which I know these Burn and Electrocute will shine there. They better. If they don't shine there, then I'm going to be really sad. You can get some rank. Pick up some ranks for the very final end of season. All right, that's it. Let's go back to the game. So the real thing is, would you summon on Season 2 banner? I did 300 summons. Would I still summon on Season 2 banner knowing what I know now? I mean, as long as I could pick up, because Shinna was on a banner too, actually. Right when Season 2 started, Shinna was on a banner. And I don't know inside that banner for the epics if they had Girth and Bledin in there. If they did, I would have just summoned on that banner. And then I would have summoned on a normal banner. Because I do like playing the Ice Blast. The Ice Blasts are a lot of fun.